What is up, podheads? Back with another edition of the Podio Slate podcast. My name is Tony. I am joined by Anthony, and we got a couple of special guests in the house, Seth and Sean from Trawl. How you guys doing?
Doing awesome.
What's going on, buddy?
You tell us what's going on with you guys.
Well, we've had a super busy summer so far. We have, as you guys know, you guys were at our album release party for Cosmic Aquatic, our new EP, and it's been kind of a whirlwind summer ever since that weekend. We started off with Aura, which was just absolutely awesome to be able to play our own show at such a cool room. I was trying to like equate it to, it's like being in like a Star Wars ship in there. Everything's like glowing and there's huge windows and it's all sparkly and it's such a cool place. And that stage is amazing. So to be able to play our own Trawl headlining show there was super cool. And then to continue that weekend with opening for 2 back-to-back nights in New Hampshire with the band Blackstone Cherry from Kentucky. Those guys were super cool to us. And those were, Sean, like each show had probably at least a couple hundred people. Like they were busy shows.
Good show.
Yeah.
The back-to-back shows with Blackstone Cherry were super awesome because it was a chance for us to really test ourselves and our metal against the grind of a 3-show and 3-day kind of scenario. And it was really cool. Like we got down to a place called the Goat in Manchester, New Hampshire, and showed up. It was hotter than friggin' anything I've been in a long time. And they're like, oh yeah, here's the stage. And we're looking and it's like, holy shit, that's a tiny friggin' stage. And we ended up having to be, the first time in my life I've ever been literally in a perfect line with all of my band members. I had Seth to my left, Adam, our drummer, was literally to my right, and then Justin was on this other side of him. So I couldn't even get to Justin to mess with him. And it was like a tenth of the space you guys saw of like the Civic Center. Like it was minuscule.
It's probably like smaller than your practice space.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, we definitely have more room at our practice space. And it was because, so that stage over at the Goat is normally like a guy with an acoustic guitar or a small, duo or something. But there was, Blackstone Cherry with a full back line, full drum kit. And then we set up our stuff in front of their stuff. So we had, we were just all in one line, which was, we made it work. You figure out how to still have some stage presence. You just like, you're in your little box. You can either like jump and have like get a little bit of height, or you can like turn slightly without hitting somebody with your headstock of your guitar. And that's your box. You got to stay in that box.
So I got a question.
Yeah.
How does that impact your tightness? Because like are you listening to the monitors? Are there even monitors? Is the PA is right there? Your amps are right there. Like, how does that? I'm curious.
From my point of view, like the monitors, it was a sharing process where I had Seth's in front of me and mine in front of me, but I got more of Seth's than I did of my own because his amp was behind me. And then my right side was basically just cymbal wash because Adam was right there.
That's exactly what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
So it was basically just feel what Seth's going and listen for the cymbal wash that I recognized for a song, and then just hammer home for, we did an hour for 3 straight nights. Like our EP release was an hour-long set, and then an hour-long set Saturday and Sunday with Blackstone Cherry. So
yeah,
wow,
That's cool.
For me, the small stage, like I think it helps tightness for bass anyways, because I'm like right next to Adam, our drummer, and we're able to lock in like because we're just so close. There's no delay or I can tell exactly what he's doing or where he's going. So for me as a bass player, it helps, but I can see the challenge from Sean's point of view with cymbal wash and all that stuff. But
Well, cymbal wash for him, and he's a wild man. Like he doesn't like to stay in one little box. He's gonna run all over the stage.
I think that's the harder part for him. Yeah, it's like not being able to jump all over the place. But
that genuinely hurt my soul, not being able to do what I could to perform. Like I had a 2x2 box. I had to make every square millimeter of that 2x2 box worth something to the crowd and myself.
Yeah. And I think, being restricted mobility wise like that because of the size of the stage, like we always set out to put on our best show and to, just leave it all on the stage. And when you're in a situation like that where you can't move around, it definitely messes with your thought of like, okay, how are we going to deliver the same show that we're used to delivering? I would say in all three shows were very different because at Aura we had a ton of space. I don't know if I've ever had that much space on a stage to try to fill, because usually if we play there, we're playing in front of a back line and somebody else has got the drum riser and you're on the floor and you're pushed forward. But it was just us by the time we got to Trawl, as you guys know. So it was like, wow, okay, how do we do that? That's a new challenge for us. And then Saturday going to zero space and then getting to Wally's on Sunday, I almost feel like it was kind of like just right, because we had more space, but not as much space to try to fill. And Sunday went absolutely amazing. Like Wally's that crowd was great. It was a packed house. It actually worked in our favor because it was a rainy day. So everybody got off the beach and inside early. Everyone was like ready for a show by the time we played. And obviously it was just us and Blackstone Cherry. So we were, warming them up, getting people ready for them. So it was awesome to have a full crowd for the opener, because a lot of times people are still milling in, they're still getting their drinks, they're still, getting settled in. But I felt like when we hit the stage, people were ready for us. And it was, personally for me, one of my favorite shows I've ever played, just like bass wise, being able to, because we're all our own worst critics. When you get off the stage, there's like a million things in your head. You're like, oh, I botched that, riff, or there was this timing issue or this or that. I felt so good about that set. I was like, I'm happy. We can end the weekend with that show. I'm good. And I felt overall like we really played like amazing at that show. So what do you think?
I was just going to say, what I don't think many like music fans that go to shows realize is the amount of variables the bands are up against for each show. And Sean has a cat that he's petting. So like
another cat on Patio Slave. It just keeps happening.
There's a big stage, there's a barricade, and then you go to, you said the GOAT, which is no stage, no barricade. Some shows, I'm sure you have monitors, some you don't. Some there's a backline, whatever. Most fans don't realize that. And I can equate it to like, imagine, Tone, if we showed up to an episode and you couldn't use your headphones, or you couldn't, all these different variables. You don't have your regular mic, or like you're in a place with a big echo. You just have to adjust.
It's like going to Rob's house and trying to figure it out there, because it's
right.
breaking it all down at home and then putting it all back together.
Yep. But most people that go to shows don't realize that. Bands obviously do, because you're up against it every show.
Well, and one thing from my point of view is, like, from what you're saying, to try to help explain it, it's like trying to go home and you can't sit on your couch that night, and then the next night you can sit on your couch. It's this weird sensation of, you get to a new venue, you have to learn the venue as soon as you get there. And like Aura, we knew so well already that it was kind of homey in a sense, and we were able to move around, through the building and through the crowd and stuff. And getting to a new venue like the GOAT was like, okay, we got to learn the layout. We have to know, like, where's the bathrooms? Where can I get drinks? Where's the smoking section? Where's the parking? And once you get all that stuff situated, then you have to start working on, okay, let's look at the stage. How are we going to work this through? And just getting onto the stage was like, all right, Seth, you go first, then I'll go, and I have to climb over Adam's bass drum, and then Adam has to go, and then Justin comes on.
It was crazy. Never had to do that before.
Yeah. It was basically like friggin' chutes and ladders just to get onto that. But then we get to Wally's, which we've played, a dozen times or so now. And it was literally absolutely like home. You come in, we know exactly where everything is. We know which bartenders that are going to do really heavy shots and the other ones that are going to be really light drink.
Your couch is there. Your cat's coming up to you on your couch at the venue.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
We know the sound crew really well, and they know what we're gonna do, so they're kind of ready for us and our stage plot and everything. What we need technical wise, and so it's just And I think the more we play there too, it's just become kind of like our home, like one of our home base venues to play, which is awesome.
So we talked about the EP release, but we didn't really talk about it. The EP's out. It's been out now since June 30th on streaming, but before that, about a month before that, so almost a little over 2 months now, right? For people to have it in their hands. So what's been the prevailing theme? What's been the excited, the thing that you guys have seen the most that you're most excited about?
From my point of view, a lot of people are just really into how cohesive all of the songs kind of fit together, because this is the first EP we've got that the four of us actually wrote every single song together. The last one we had written with our previous drummer and had Adam in and do new drums on. The first one was we'd already written all the songs with our previous guitarist, so he had to come in and try to put his spin and flair on things. And this one was more of, okay, Adam wrote his piece, Justin wrote his piece, and a lot of the people that I've spoken to have been like, the cohesiveness and hearing how everyone almost feels very comfortable and at home base for each song is actually really refreshing, and it really helps, push the energy and the emotion of the songs out through the airwaves. So, and it was a lot of fun to actually have a nice surprise going, kind of skipping to the EP release, standing outside using my friggin' vape, and all of a sudden I hear this guy go, "Hey man," and I turn and it's fucking Nate. I'm like,
that's right. Nate was there and he's on the EP.
All three of you guys, which was so cool to have all of you together for that, and just thankful, because we feel like having this been, is this our third or fourth time on the podcast?
I think
it's fourth. Yeah.
Fourth, and just talking to you guys often. You guys have been down to the jam space. We feel like you guys are a part of this, so to have all three of you guys there for our EP release was really, really cool, really special.
Plus, getting to play the Nate sound effect, the intro to the CD, while Nate was there, and find him in the crowd was
that was
really
so
nice.
awesome.
He's still blushing. He's still blushing right now.
Good.
Yeah, I have that photo on my phone of you like pointing him out, because somebody took an awesome. Was that? Yeah, I think that. I don't know who took that photo.
I think it was Chris Cates, the guy we hired for photography. So
shout out Chris Cates.
The funny part is when I am on stage, I don't wear my glasses, so it's really hard to see distance with the lights in my face. So I'm looking. I thought I saw him. I was about to point, and then I realized it was a woman. So I stopped, and it was like, nope. Oh, there he is.
So was there any thought to have him do that live? I mean, he wouldn't have done it, but
he definitely wouldn't have done it.
He wouldn't have done it.
So we were thinking about having him come up on stage and actually like do that. And at one point I was pricing out in like inflatable shark costumes that I was going to put my son, who was our roadie that night, in
Nice.
to basically start chasing him around the stage. I figured he'd be uncomfortable and my son would be totally mortified having to be on stage pretending to attack somebody. But yeah, there was thoughts of it.
I love that you guys are even just those ideas are flowing. I love that.
Yeah. And just like, I guess from my perspective on the album, just like prevailing themes, like just it's always interesting to see what you think is going to be what people want to hear, or maybe like, oh, this is probably the single, and then what people cling to, and what ends up being the song that people really like, or the ones that people request a lot. And so far, Move, I think, is probably in in the lead in terms of like streams, and people like, it's starting to feel like one of those songs that we can't leave out of the set for any reason. Like, it's got to be in there. And then because we love physical music and being able to release it on CD at Bull Moose, we just for the past 10 weeks, it's been in the top 10 consistently, which is awesome. Just
That's so
because
awesome.
it's so hard to keep people's attention spans these days. When you put something out, you figure you have a couple of weeks of their attention, maybe, to, get in front of them, show them what your new music sounds like. And then you hope that there's some longevity to it. You hope that there's enough interest where other people are going to tell their friends and it continues to sell or do well. But to have a 10-week run of being on the top 10 is just so cool.
So I can't find the thing.
You can't find it.
No, the Scarborough and Sopo Bull Moose, those are the two I've been to.
Yeah.
Either I'm looking in the wrong spot or it's selling out. So it's either a me problem or it's a good problem that people are buying it.
Well, yeah, we'll have to make sure they have some, because for sure.
Yeah. The best thing to do is check the website, because the website will tell you if it's in stock or not. I know the Wyndham Bull Moose has like a local section, and it's pretty funny when you start to look through. I remember like these bands, and I'm like, oh yeah, I love them. And then I get way down to the T section, and I'm like, oh yeah. And then there's like 3 Trawl CDs front facing, not on the sides. You read the spine; they're all front facing, and it's like,
that's cool.
Oh, okay, hi.
That's super cool.
I know you. I know you.
Right. That's just a sign that they want people to. They catch your eye. The art is awesome on all of them, but at the same time, the music is awesome behind it. So like, hey, come on, grab me and take me for a little spin.
Yeah, well, and Bull Moose honestly has been one of the biggest champions for us. All the employees there are just fantastic. They play our music all the time. We get pictures, of them wearing our shirts and stuff. And I know, geez, it was like a month or so ago, somebody put up like a shark display, and our CDs were on the display. And there wasn't just like music. There was like movies and comic books and action figures and all kinds of stuff. And then our 3 CDs were kind of tucked in there. And it was like, oh, that's really cool. And like Bull Moose has been phenomenal.
It was like a Shark Week end cap, and it had like the Meg
That's
and
cool.
Jaws and a bunch of other like Sharknado, and then there was our albums up there, which was super cool. So
we got to get you guys on the next Meg movie. I know there's another one coming, but we got to get one of those songs on there. I know we talked about Sharknado 6, but I think the Meg just keeps happening. So that one for sure.
Hey, fine with that.
we have to figure out how to get in front of some of these music supervisors for these movies before they're already slated to come out and the soundtracks haven't been decided yet. Because I feel like it's a tragedy to not have like Car Chart on or like Omega Rock 6 on one of these shark movies. So we have to figure out a way to make that happen.
I know that there's a video game series called Man Eater, and it's about a shark. You start as a baby shark, and then you have to eat fish and other sharks and stuff, and you grow and you get upgrades. I hope they make a second one and call us. That'd be freaking cool.
That would be really cool.
Where do we go from here? We can go so many angles.
So you just played a couple of shows with Polkadot Cadaver, one at the Goat again, right? In Manchester?
Nope.
Where was it?
Jaskeen in Manchester.
Okay. It was in Manchester, though.
Yeah,
I had the right
Vegas,
city.
baby.
Sorry. It was in Manchester with Polkadot Cadaver, and then again here in Maine and Portland at Gino's. That's correct, right?
Yep.
All right, cool.
Yes.
I got that one. How did those go?
Oh, my God. They were unbelievable. Getting the opportunity to play for a national band is amazing. Getting to play for a band that you and another member of your band have been almost fangirling about since you realized you both were fans of said band is unbelievable. Especially because Seth and I, on like the first long ass road trip we had to take, it was him and I in a car driving to Laconia, which if you've ever driven from anywhere in Maine to Laconia, it's like forever and a day on back roads. And we started talking about music, and he had a playlist going, and Dog Fashion Disco came up. And that was a band that I was like, oh my God, I love these guys. Like, I had a sticker on my TV growing like in high school, and Seth's like, I love these guys too. And we like hardcore bonded over this really quirky band from Maryland that not
Very
many
quirky.
people
Yeah.
not many people realize who they are. And then Polkadot Cadaver's just the same guys essentially with a new name doing the same thing, just really quirky, weird music. And getting the chance to play with them was literally like after Sunday night's show, I went and spoke to Jason and Todd, the guitarist and singer, and was like, thank you so much. This, from the bottom of my heart, this is like one of the most amazing experiences I've ever had, because you guys were literally like one of the reasons I really started to want to get into weirder music, and you kind of helped form what this band is now, because it's not normal mainstream stuff. It's this weird amalgamation of, yeah, there's some heavy, and then there's some funky, and then there's some weird shark references. And
yeah, I felt totally the same way. Like, being able to actually see that, like, share the stage with them. And those clubs are quite a bit smaller than, when we were talking about Aura and Wally's. I mean, the Shaskeen is like playing a show in a living room. It's like a pretty small Irish pub with like a back room that has, just a bar and then a stage, and basically room for about, I'd say maybe about 100 people. And it was pretty packed in. And, Todd spent most of the set, the singer, down on the floor singing with the people in the audience. And he was just down there with them the whole time. And they played a good mix of, Polkadot, Cadaver songs, but also dog fashion stuff. And they went all the way back to 2002. They went back to like Committed to a Bright Future stuff. They went back to, they played stuff from Anarchists of Good Taste, and, everything spanning this last 20 years. And so as like super fans, we were just like, this is beyond cool. And they were really nice guys. Like,
they're super nice guys. One thing I will say is they did end Saturday night's set with a cover of Helmet, which was unbelievably good. And they played that same cover at Sunday night, and it was unbelievable. It's still so good. They're just, super nice guys. Jason, their guitarist, actually lives in Maine now. So that was really cool, because when they pulled up with a van that had Maine license plates, and we're like, what the fuck?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Did you guys see them back at the Asylum back in the day?
Never saw them at the Asylum, but I saw them at the old Ushuaia in Orono.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Back then. And I was supposed to see them at the Edge in Augusta, but on the night that they were supposed to play there was something wrong with the venue, like the heater broke or something. And it was like dead of winter, so they had to cancel it. But I got to see them once at the Ushuaia.
Nice.
This was my first time seeing them ever, because I remember seeing that they were coming to Maine, but I was a dumbass and didn't have a license until I was 21, so I missed a bunch of shows I should have gone to.
Tony could have brought you. He would have.
Yeah, back then we knew each other.
Yeah, that's true. Shit.
Should have just hit me up, man.
I would say we could have gone with new shoes on, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 991s for days, my friend.
God, those are so.
Yeah, they played. I saw them once at the Asylum. I think it was the Reveille show.
Oh, cool.
Reveille Primer and Darwin's Waiting Room.
No shit.
What a bill that is.
That's a cool bill.
I know. Like I'd pay big money for that. Like right about now.
Yeah.
Seriously. Yeah, that's a cool bill. Yeah, and Geno's. Wow. Like what a show. It was a wild show. Like, okay, so
that's an understatement.
So we'll preface by saying we found out that their AC was down and out. So we got in there and all they had was fans, and it was down in the thick of it. It was probably 100 degrees.
Wow.
So that's where it starts. Yeah. And we had our buds from New York, Prawn, come out to play. So they drove all the way up. They're pretty young guys, and sounds like they had some car trouble on the way, and they patched it all together and figured out how to get. They had played the Middle East a couple nights before, so they were already in New England and made it up to play the show, and they played awesome. Really proud of them. And then we shared both nights with our friends Inverter from Boston, who was another great band. So they put on a great show both nights. and then we got to play the sort of I guess money slot you'd call it right before Polkadot, and the crowd was just crazy. Like honestly, for Geno's, for us, this was, I'm going to say it was redemption, because back in the early days of Trawl, we played Geno's probably 3 times to not very many people at all. So
I'd say about 3 people. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Oh, wow. Yeah.
you know, not that we had like lost faith in Geno's per se, but it's an interesting venue, and it's an interesting part of town, and it's parking's tough. It's got to be the right night. It's got to be the right opportunity. It's got to be like everything has to fall together right for it to go well. And
Yeah.
there was a ton of people, ton of Trawl fans, ton of, Polkadot Cadaver fans and Dog Fashion fans, obviously. And it was just kind of electric. Like there was just a vibe that, every single band, like Prawn set the bar really high, and then Inverter set the bar really high. And then so like we had to really deliver the energy, even though it was 100 degrees. So we were like, okay, we got to, pull out all the stops and deliver the best show we can. And then, obviously Polkadot gets up there and absolutely just destroys. So it was one for the books. And there was a few fights that happened. There was even
a Geno show, baby.
There was even
there was one gentleman who had his eyebrow, I like to say circumcised. That thing was blown open. It was, I don't know what happened. All I know is I saw a friend of mine who I think he works part-time at Geno's. He comes running out with this guy, like dragging this dude. So I went into, rescue mode, and I grabbed the guy by the belt and started helping him, helping this beaten up dude. We get out to the front, and his eyebrow was just gone. He basically fell onto one of the stairs down the very front of the stage. Like,
oh yeah,
right on that metal, he busted his eyebrow wide open. I was like, well, we've never had blood at a Trawl show, so this is a new one.
Yeah, that was definitely a new one.
Do it long enough, you're gonna have all that stuff. So that's a good thing.
And we actually, for the first time ever, we had a pit in front of Trawl when we were playing. So
nice.
that was new too. But yeah, things got a little crazy
on a Sunday night of all things too. Let's not.
I know that's Tony and I's excuse
Sunday.
for not going.
I was in Vermont.
Oh, yeah, you have a different excuse.
Yeah, if I had been in Maine, I probably would have gone. Yeah,
I think that's why we were even more surprised, because we knew it was a tough sell Sunday night. It's like, that's hard, but with a touring act, you're like, okay, well, they don't come to Maine often, so maybe people will turn out for it, and they did. And we ran into it. Like I talked to a couple people that were like, yeah, I work third shift and today's my day off, so I always forget about the fact that like a lot of people don't work like a traditional work schedule and things like that. So the people that like normally can't come out because they're working on Saturday night were able to come out. So it was kind of cool.
So what's next for you guys? What's popping off here pretty soon?
Ooh. Well, so thanks to you guys, I think we've already mentioned this once. Later on this year, way in November, we're actually playing with Taproot.
Don't blink, man. That's 3 months away.
It's coming.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's coming. Yeah. We're
and
playing
that's at Wally's?
We're opening for Taproot. That's at Wally's, yeah. So, and we're excited about that. I mean, come on, it's Taproot.
So Friday, November 3rd. We are opening for the mighty Taproot. So excited. Those guys just kicked off their tour. I think they've played 2 or 3 dates of the 18, 20 or so that they have. And it's cool to see them get back and going again after, I think, I'm going to say it's like 6 years since they've been out there. I know they think they just dropped a new single, or they're about to. And seems like they're building momentum, building steam. I know their album release shows of all 3 of them have sold out. So we haven't gotten any numbers, but I think tickets are selling pretty well for Wally's, and we're just excited to be able to support. They added Dead by Wednesday to the bill, so they'll be on, as well as Eva Under Fire, who they've got quite some momentum right now, and they've got quite a following. So really excited to play that show.
I know Eva Under Fire, the Itch guys, told us to say hi to Eva and all them. So we will do that, when we see them November 3rd.
Are we shouting out the Itch again? Let's do it. Shout out the Itch. We love the Itch.
St. Louis, stand up.
Yeah, go check out the Itch. They are our brothers from another mother.
The Itch Rocks podcast. Go check them out. But yeah, that's exciting. Like, actually, at the time of recording this, Taproot just dropped another song today. And,
yes, right.
I listened to it, and it sounds like the Taproot that we all know and love. So.
Yeah.
And you know what Phil told us back in April? The first song is to kind of get you, this is where we're at. We're recalibrating. We're going to give you what we sound like. The second song is, all right, this is building momentum. And the third song is going to knock your socks off, too. So they've got some more up their sleeve, I'm sure, knowing those guys. And I'm excited for that show just because Taproot back together to get to hopefully say hey to Phil, obviously see you guys crush before, and check out, Dead by Wednesday and Eve Under Fire as well. That's going to be a badass night.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Yep, can't wait. And then backing up a little bit, 1 month into October, we've got a really cool show planned that we haven't told anybody about yet, but we wanted to come on here and tell you guys.
Yeah, we had to tell you guys. You guys are like another set of our champions that, you guys get first dibs essentially. So
Thank you.
All right, Tone, insert drum roll now.
I will put that right here. All right, perfect.
October 20th, we're going to be doing the first ever Trawloween show.
Nice.
Sean and I have been talking about doing a Halloween show actually since that same road trip that we were talking about when we both discovered that we loved like Dog Fashion Disco and Polkadot Cadaver. We came up with the name, Trawloween. So we finally figured it out. We're going to be doing our own show for Halloween, Friday, October 20th, and it will be at Lost Valley Brewing in Auburn. And what's really cool is we're getting to collaborate with Lost Valley to have our own beer.
There it is. Yeah.
Another one? I love it.
Another one. So for those out there who don't know, a couple of years ago, Trawl got to have our own beer at Yes Brewing in Westbrook. Rest in peace. They were around for, I'm going to say 4 or 5 years. And then we had our beer released there. And then shortly thereafter, like maybe less than a year later, the brewery closed. So we had this really cool thing happen where we got this opportunity to have a beer, and then brewery closes. So we were like, okay, we have to figure out a way to do this again. So Lost Valley Brewing agreed to do a limited release Trawl beer for our show. And they are going to make up some cans, I think, just for that night, and then make a small batch. So hoping it goes well, and it's something they want to continue to make and continue to do with us. But
yeah,
we're super excited.
I think the fun part for me is the fact that they actually asked us that we have to come in to help them brew the beer.
Ooh, I was going to say, do you guys get a say?
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
They've given us like a couple of options, and we get to kind of decide what we want to do, which is cool.
I mean, it is Halloween, and I'm a geek. I want the pumpkin ale,
Hey,
I'm a basic white bitch.
I'm in. I love pumpkin beer.
Yeah, we're considering they're considering doing a double pumpkin, like an 8.5%, like double pumpkin. So
that'd be something.
We're considering that option. They also threw out a double IPA, which the pumpkin is a little bit more my thing. I'm a like a wheat beer kind of guy for the most part. Love Allagash, stuff like that.
That's pumpkin season, so maybe that's the way you go double pumpkin, man. Like throw a little ice cream scoop in there, throw a little whipped cream on top. That'd be a nice little warmer in late October.
All right.
Pumpkin spice Tralte.
Exactly.
That's the best I could come up with, guys.
Hey, we're trademark that shit, and we'll freaking work with you.
Nice.
Another real fun aspect of that is it's no cover charge, and they're allowing us to have an all ages event. So they will be serving beer, but it's also a restaurant kind of brew gastropub kind of scenario where they'll have food and stuff. And they're allowing us to do it all ages, which is just so awesome because I know we have a lot of people who have kids who their kids are kind of into us and they like to listen to Trawl because it's, it's not as scary as some of Daddy's other music or Mummy's music, and having all ages is cool.
One thing, I mean, Tony and I, we've chatted with, I don't know, 100 bands at this point, and a reoccurring theme more recently than ever is there's no rules. Do whatever you want. Do a beer. Do it all ages. Do it at a brewery. Do whatever the fuck you want. Yeah. You write the book.
We're trying.
Super excited about this. And what's cool is so there's 2 other bands out there in Maine that share members with Trawl, and both of them are going to be playing this show also. So our drummer Adam is in the band Loki. I was actually in that band with him for 7 years prior to being in Trawl, and so Loki's going to be playing with us, and our guitarist Justin is in the band Division North, and they'll be playing the show as well. So it's going to be a really cool, tight-knit family show with basically all 3 of the, I'm going to say, Trawl family bands, kind of playing the same show. So I'm excited because they're all friends of ours and, have been huge supporters of us as well. So, it really means a lot to be able to kind of put everybody on one show and do this cool thing where we get to actually have a say and make all the details and, hire the sound guy and hire a photographer and, have control over a show like that, which is kind of cool because, playing in Portland and playing, a lot of club venues, opening for nationals, doing that stuff, you don't often get to like really be in control of all the details and stuff. So it's cool to be able to really have one where you can put it all together.
So October 20th at Lost Valley Brewing, Seth, that's where that is, Sean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sweet. So keep an eye out for that. Get your schedule in order so you can go. It's no cover. Get in there, get some food, get some beer, try the double smash pumpkin, whatever they end up making. And
bring your kids.
Bring your kids. Hide your kids, hide your wife. Do it all.
Yeah, that too.
We are stoked to have you guys back. As always, we love talking with you guys. I mean, you're friends too. It's not just about the podcast here. We're happy that the Trawl camp is doing big things.
Thanks, guys. We really appreciate, being able to come on here and just hang out and talk. And thank you all for everything you've done and allowing us to use your voices on a couple EPs. And, Seth and I have some pretty cool plans for the future of Trawl and our next release that we're already working on. So
Trawl never sleeps. Where can people find you? I mean, we'll put it all in the show notes, but where can people find you online?
Well, the main hub is trawlband.com. That's our website. It has everything from Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever the hell it's called now. It's got our YouTube links. So trawlband.com will get you there. It'll get you everything. Has our web stores and links to all our music.
Perfect. Boys, thanks again. We will definitely be seeing you soon.
Thanks so much for having us.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Thank you for listening to Podio Slave. We are at Podio Slave on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all of the places that you can find us on social media. Facebook, Podio Slave Podcast. YouTube, Podio Slave Podcast there. Email us at podioslavepodcast@gmail.com. And hey, if you want to become a supporter, click on the link at the bottom of the episode and give us $1, give us $5. It keeps the lights on, keeps us going. We really appreciate that stuff. Thank you.
There's been so many pre-orders lately, been getting so many music vinyl pre-orders. One day in the future I'm going to have such a great mail haul. Someday at a time undetermined, because you sign up for these vinyl pre-orders and it's expected to ship next October, July. And you're like, okay, yeah. Great. But just when you forget about it, then it'll show up in the mail.
Yeah.
Oh shit, what is this?
Right? What I forget. And it's this 12x12. My wife's like, again? And I'm like, yep.
Another calendar?
It's exactly. I love these calendars. They're so good.
How many 2024 calendars do we need?
All of them until 2025 happens. So we need them all next year.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's a million fucking records this year too. So shit, stuff just keeps coming out. So
yeah.
I'm gonna do a GoFundMe just for me,
just for us. We should actually do that. We
for
should
records,
just, as a joke, put that up as a joke. Put that up as a post and be like, if you want to fund our nerdery, link in bio.
Seth and I were talking, or at band practice, I came to the guys and I was like, I have our next album title, and they're all looking at me, and I was like, OnlyFins.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah.
That's OnlyFins. That's perfect. That's perfect.